Hey guys, Techno here, and in this video we are going to cover how to find the factors of any number. How to find the factors of any number. It's a neat little equation I came up with that allows you to find the factors of any number just by inputting a factor pair, and then you get an output a completely different factor pair. I'm just going to cover that in a few short minutes. Basic multiplication statements go on the lines of a times b equals p. That's the most basic type of multiplication statement around there, where a and b are the two values and p is the product. All factors operate in this way. Factors are really just two pairs of different values that multiply by each other to get p. Just different combination of a times b, where a is a different number each time and b is a different number. You still get the same p value. This is the principle which I used in my equation, where so let's say the factors of 48 for example. The factors of 48 are 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 12, 16, and wait, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48, right? All of these are just pairs of multiplication statements. 1 times 48 equals 48. 8 times b equals p. 2 times 24 equals 48. 8 times b equals p, and so on and so forth. That applies to all factors. That's the basic principle behind all factors. And if you might have noticed, there is a relationship between these two factors. The factors get closer and closer to each other. The number gets closer and closer to each other. The pairs get more and more similar. There's less of a difference between them the closer you get to the middle of the factor chain. That is because if you multiply a factor by a certain number and then you divide the corresponding other factor pair by the same number, you get the same factor pair. What I did was I took that into an equation format, which actually is a pretty simple thing to do. I did a divided by n times b times n equals p. Or in another format, a times 1 over n times b times n, b equals to p. It's a pretty simple equation here, and all it does is really just take something that already exists, takes a relationship that already exists, and put it into an equation format. This is really useful for those who are just learning factors, and they could use this to predict the factors of a certain number, like with, I don't know, let's say if you don't know like half the factors of 48, like you already have one factor pair, like say you already know what 6 times 8 is. You can use this formula to find out the rest of the factors of 48. Like, say input a couple of values here. A equals 6, B equals to 8, N would be equal to, I don't know, 3. This is the number you're dividing and multiplying by over here. And P would obviously be equal to 48. Right? Check this out and see how it works. A times 1 over n times b times n will be equal to p. 6 times 1/3 times 8 times 3 will be equal to 48. And let's see if that works. 6 times 1/3 is 2, 8 times 3 is 24, and that would be equivalent to 48. Neat, right? Now you know what 2 times 24 is, and you can just keep going until you find the rest of the factors of a certain number. I mean, there are a lot of applications for this. You can just mostly for finding factors of any number that you don't know. Um, this works with any number really, just because of the way it's structured. Um, see, 1 times n, 1 divided by n times n would be equal to 1. So if you simplify that, that would really be a times b times 1. Or, if you simplify that further, a times b. The only purpose of the n is to change the a and the b into completely separate numbers. It changes a and b into two separate values, c and d equals p. So a and b equals p. and C and D will also equal to P. C and D are the output values. So there is where you would need to the output values, and you'd have to have A times B first in order to do it. If you don't know any factors, any factor pairs, well, you could always just use the 1 times that number to start with. That's always factors. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Feel free to try this out and see if this works with any number. Try to challenge it, and I assure you that it will work with that number. This is a pretty impressive equation, but it's fairly simple. And please like and subscribe if you want more content like this. And bye. Have a nice day.